colorful poison frogs in the Amazon owe their great diversity to ancestors that leapt into the region from the Andes Mountains several times during the last 10 million years, a new study from the University of Texas at Austin suggests. This is the first study to show that the Andes have been a major source of diversity for the Amazon basin, one of the largest reservoirs of biological diversity on Earth. The finding runs counter to the idea that Amazonian diversity is the result of evolution only within the tropical forest itself. Basically, the Amazon basin is a melting pot for South American frogs, says graduate student Juan Santos, lead author of the study. Poison frogs there have come from multiple places of origin, notably the Andes Mountains, over many millions of years. We have shown that you cannot understand Amazonian biodiversity by looking only in the basin. Adjacent regions have played a major role. It seems we live in a bizarre universe. One of the greatest mysteries in the whole of science is the prospect that 75% of the universe is made up from a mysterious substance known as dark energy, which causes an acceleration of the cosmic expansion. Since a further 21% of the universe is made up from invisible cold dark matter that can only be detected through its gravitational effects, the ordinary atomic matter, making up the rest, is apparently only 4% of the total cosmic budget. These discoveries require a shift in our perception as great as that made after Copernicus's revelation that the Earth moves around the Sun. This lecture will start by reviewing the checkered history of dark energy, not only since Einstein's proposal for a similar entity in 1917, but by tracing the concept back to Newton's ideas. This lecture will summarize the current evidence for dark energy and future surveys in which UCL is heavily involved: the Dark Energy Survey, the Hubble Space Telescope, and the proposed Euclid space mission. Sustainable job growth is a motto for many governments, especially in the aftermath of a recession. The problem of job quality is less often addressed and may be seen as hindering job growth. The sentiment "any job is better than no job" may resonate with governments as well as people, especially in the context of high unemployment. However, if the balance between improving the quality of existing jobs and creating new jobs becomes greatly imbalanced towards the latter, this could increase work stress among current and future workers, which in turn has health, economic and social costs. A recent British Academy Policy Centre report on stress at work highlights these concerns and describes the context, determinants and consequences of work-related stress in Britain.
During the day, the sun heats up both the ocean surface and the land. Water is a good absorber of the energy from the sun. The land absorbs much of the sun's energy as well. However, water heats up much more slowly than land, and so the air above the land will be warmer compared to the air over the ocean. The warm air over the land will rise throughout the day, causing low pressure at the surface. Over the water, high surface pressure will form because of the colder air. To compensate, the air will sink over the ocean. The wind will blow from the higher pressure over the water to lower pressure over the land, causing the sea breeze. The sea breeze strength will vary depending on the temperature difference between the Steven Pinker, a cognitive psychologist best known for his book, The Language Instinct, has called music auditory cheesecake, an exquisite confection crafted to tickle the sensitive spots of at least 6 of our mental faculties. If it vanished from our species, he said, the rest of our lifestyle would be virtually unchanged. Others have argued that, on the contrary, music, along with art and literature, is part of what makes people human. Its absence would have a brutalizing effect. Philip Ball, a British science writer and an avid music enthusiast, comes down somewhere in the middle. He says that music is ingrained in our auditory, cognitive and motor functions. We have a music instinct, as much as a language instinct, and could not rid ourselves of it, if we tried.
Measuring poverty on a global scale requires establishing a uniform poverty level across extremely divergent economies, which can result in only rough comparisons. The World Bank has defined the international poverty line as US $1 and $2 per day in 1993 purchasing power parity, PPP, which adjusts for differences in the prices of goods and services between countries. The $1 per day level is generally used for the least developed countries, primarily African. The $2 per day level is used for middle-income economies, such as those of East Asia and Latin America. The increasing darkness in the northern hemisphere this time of year indicates to the plant that fall is coming on. So it starts recouping materials from the leaves before they drop off. Evergreens protect their needle-like foliage from freezing with waxy coatings and natural antifreezes. But broadleaf plants like sugar maples, birches and sumacs have no such protections. As a result, they shed their leaves. But before they do, the plants first try to salvage important nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus. You have about 30 minutes to answer each question. You must take account of how many marks are available for each part when you answer it. Even if you think you can write more, don't spend 15 minutes answering a part worth only 5 marks. Leave space at the end of your answer and come back to it if you have time to spare later. And if you can't think of an answer to some part, leave a space and move on to the next part. Don't write about something else if you don't know the correct answer. This is just a waste of your valuable time and the examiner's.